The LSI model explains how data travels from one component to another. It is made up of 7 layers that each have their own functions. Every layer communicates with the layer before it and after it. For example, the network layer communicates with the data link and transport layers. The layers in descending order are application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical.
The first layer is called the physical layer. The physical layer defines the relationship between the device and the way the data is transmitted. This layer includes all the physical components needed to connect the devices together. Some examples of this are copper wires, hubs, and repeaters. This layer also converts the bits into signals and vice versa.
The main point of the data link layer provides the mean to transfer data between entities on the network. This layer detects and sometimes corrects errors made on the physical layer as well. This layer is where the MAC address is defined, and this all takes place in the NIC.
This next layer is called the network layer. The network layer verifies where packets will go on the network. It then provides the routing functions so that the data can find the fastest route from your computer to another. It also reports errors that occur during the delivery process. Routers also operate on this level, and because of this, by sending data through the extended network, the internet exists. Some protocols used on this layer are IP, ARP, and ICMP.
The transport layer is in charge of the actual transfer of data. It makes sure the data is error-free, without duplications, and in proper sequence. Upon receiving packets, the transport layer breaks the data into segments that are smaller than the maximum transmission unit, or MTU. This is called flow control. The transport layer makes sure not to send more data than the application can handle at one time. This results in dropped packets. The protocols used at this layer are TCP and UDP.
Layer 5, the session layer. This layer creates the ability for communication between two computers, also known as a session. This layer's job is to set up communication and tears it down after the data has been transferred. The session layer also has the ability to determine who sends data first and for how long they can send said data at a given time. Protocols used at this layer include PPTP, L2TP, RTCP, ZIP, and SOCKS. Layer 6, presentation. Layer 6 is needed so that Layer 7 can read the data. The redirector intercepts the requests for services for the computer. Requests which cannot be handled are redirected across the network to resources that can handle it. Some problems that can happen include incompatible translation software. This is because one system may not have the correct decryptionware. Protocols include PAD, NCP, AFP, and LPP.
The main point of the application layer is to give interfaces to applications for accessing network services. Some of the application layer's protocols include HTTP, FTP, SMB, CIFS, and TFTP. Some common problems at this layer are missing or misconfigured server software and miscommunication with the server and client.
Layer 6.
What?
I pressed play all
I didn't even know you started it. I was like being prepared to be quiet and I had to like sniff. I'm actually curious if I picked that up though.
Layer 6, presentation. Is that right?
You're excused.
Layer 4, the transport layer, is responsible for safely transferring data from one application to another. Shit. It does this.
That's going in bloopers.
Layer 4, the transport layer, is responsible for safely transferring data from